I swear, I don't know any story, I told them firmly. No, we want to hear a story. Tell us a story. Tell us a story. Both the kids pleaded. Okay, let me tell you that story. But before that, come, get on your bed, I urged. As they settled on the bed, I began, long, long ago, a beautiful girl, with her doe-like eyes and a heart as fragile as a snowflake, lived with her stepmother and stepsisters. The stepmother and stepsisters always tortured that beautiful girl. They made her do all the housework from cleaning, cooking, to washing clothes. Her stepmother was so cruel that she did not even care to give her food. That beautiful girl had to secretly collect flowers in the dark of the night and sell them early in the morning for a little money, which she spent to fulfill her basic needs of life. Over the years, she got so used to the cruelty that it stopped hurting her. All her doe-like eyes ever craved for was love. A little love. Love that she never got after her mom's death. One night, as she wandered in the dimly lit forest, collecting crimson roses in her hand, the weather changed to worse. Out of nowhere, it began to rain, followed by terrible lightning and thunder. In no time, the poor girl was all soaked in the rain. She sat there, shivering, under the tree. It was too much for her fragile body to handle, and before she could realize, she fainted. When that girl woke up, she found herself in the middle of the snow. There was no trace of forest or rain, only snow and snow. It was a place she had never seen before. It was cold, bitterly cold. She was confused about how she ended up in the middle of snow. Just then, something flashed in front of her with the speed of light. He was a man with eyes, cold like ice cubes. His body looked like some marble statue of a king. He looked at the girl with confusion. Just as he tried to smell the girl, the color of his eyes changed. It was a moonless night in which fate wove their destinies together. Deep in the snows of Verona, where shadows moved on their own, where winds whispered secrets, two souls collided, a collision that was prohibited, forbidden by the laws of nature, a collision that altered the course of both their lives forever. He was the living dead king of Verona who was feared by one and all. His name echoed through the empire like a curse. Nobody was allowed to take his name. He was the most powerful vampire in the entire world. He was an abandoned who rose from the ground to the throne of the vampire's empire. He was cold and ruthless, who ruled Verona with an iron fist. His empire lived on blood and betrayal. He was the strongest, the only one who could smell fresh blood from miles away. And that's exactly what drove him out his palace in the middle of the night. The smell of fresh blood. The king gazed at her with his curious cold eyes. He had never seen a fragile creature like her in his world of predators. He should have killed her immediately and had a feast on her sweet blood, or turned her away to the place where she belonged. But something stirred within him at the sight of this girl. Perhaps it was the way her lips trembled, or the tears in her eyes, or maybe it was the way she held a single rose in her hand as a gift for him. Rose plants don't grow on snow. Thus the king was this fascinated to see something just as red as blood. "You don't belong here, do you?" the king asked in his terrifying voice. The girl trembled, hearing his cold voice, but she stood on her ground. "I'm lost," she whispered. "Can you help me find my way?" She spoke, gently. He was moved, hearing her soft, melodious voice. He should have sent her away, but instead, he held her warm hands and took her in, through the doors of his ruthless world. As the girl saw the scars on his knuckles, she felt she found someone just as broken as her. She had a desire to fix the broken in him. The haunted look of his eyes did not haunt her anymore. She knew he was dangerous, but she also sensed his fractured soul, somewhere beneath the armor. She traced her soft fingers over his cold, stony body, filled with tattoos that inked memories of a life he wanted to forget. As days turned into weeks, the girl melted the king's cold heart with the warmth of her personality. Without even realizing, they were curing each other. She taught him to live, to smile, and to love. In return, he gave her the love she craved all her life. He listened to her nightmares and played pianos for her to sleep peacefully. They were healing each other's wounds, both visible and hidden. He planted her rose in his snow-covered garden, and unexpectedly it bloomed, fighting all the laws of nature. Both of them were happy. They would hold each other in embrace and dance in the snow. But as you know, it's a forbidden love story. She was a fragile rose in a garden of thorns. Vampires living around often got attracted by her blood and circled her like vultures, waiting for a moment of weakness. The king did not like the way other vampires looked at his girl. To keep her safe, he imposed cruel punishments for those who tried to harm her. But deep inside, he could not deny the truth that he was one of them, that there is blood all over his hands, that he's the beast and his beauty is not safe in his world. So he asked her to forget him and return to her world, but she clearly told him that all she is not going anywhere because she loves him and wanted was to live with him forever. She was the first and the only one who brutally denied the king's order, and King was happy about it. But the happiness could not last longer as rumors of a human living with King started spreading within the empire. Though nobody dared to question the king as he was the strongest of all vampire, but seeds of betrayal began to sprout. And King was smart enough to see it. So, on a moonless night when there was a heavy storm again, the king decided to make his choice. He left his kingdom, his crown, his throne, and everything to keep his girl safe. Together, they left Verona, the world of death, and began a happy life in a new world. And thus a girl who thought that she had lost her way in the middle of snow found the love of her life in the arms of a ruthless vampire king, a love that fought against the laws of nature to bloom just like the rose tree that grew on snow. As I completed my story, I heard the sound of door unlock. And there was King, was standing there. The smile in his face fainted as he saw me. "Appa, Uncle is telling us a beautiful story," Eden said, running to his dad. "Appa, it's a very good story," Eris added. "Eden, Eris, go to your mama. She's got ice cream for you," King said, with his eyes fixed on me. "Woo, ice cream!" the kids exclaimed, and ran downstairs to their mom. "How the fuck did you dare to step into my house?" the king asked me, pinning me on the wall. "Verona needs you. I have come to take you back," I said, struggling for breath. "I have no plans to return. Go back," the king announced in his domineering voice. Just then, the door clicked open. King immediately lowered me to the floor. "Jungkook, are you all right?" the girl with the smell of fresh blood inquired, checking on our king as if he was a baby. "So King lets you call him by his name now?" I asked, surprised. "I'm fine, YN. Stay with the kids. I'll deal with this," King said, whisking me out of his house in a hurry. "Don't you dare come into my house," King warned sternly. "I promise I won't ever intrude your house ever again, but Verona needs you. You're the only one who can bring stability back in Verona," I pleaded. "I have a wife and kids to care for here. I cannot return. I am not your king anymore. Go back," King replied calmly. "I'll leave, but Verona desperately needs you. I'm hoping for your return," I said before turning away.
As I returned home, I saw my kids enjoying ice cream. "Eden, Aris, come here, both of you," I said, sitting on sofa. Both of them ran into my arms. "Did Mama teach you not to talk to strangers?" I asked. Both of them nodded. "Then why did you let a stranger enter your bedroom?" I questioned. "He was not a stranger. He was our uncle. We saw a picture of both of you," Eden said. "He also told us that he would take us to his home after you and Mama return." Eris added, Don't ever go with anybody without your dad or me," YN asked, worried. "We know that, Mama." Eris replied. "Mama, I am sleepy," Eden said with a pout. YN then kissed their forehead and tugged them to sleep. "Is there any problem?" she asked, hugging me from behind, as I sat outside for fresh air. "No, everything is fine. Let's go to bed," I said, with a heavy breath.
This was a one-shot FF. Hope you liked it. Thank you for watching. Turn on the notifications for more such Jungkook's fan fiction. Hope you have a good day ahead. See ya. Take care.